Live. This hangout is live. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Ben Reisinger again, the professor of DMM 110, Digital Media Applications, in the new Digital Media Marketing course and major at University of Indianapolis. So welcome back. We were chatting just some general info before, and right now we have a special guest with us. This is Juett. How you doing, Jared?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Right on.
Good.
Jared is a social media professional. I'm not going to give away what it is that he does and this and that, but Jared Juett, he is at Jared Juett on Twitter. I highly suggest, he is one of those guys, and we were talking about maybe who you should follow. This guy is one of the people you should follow, and you'll see how he does a good mix of personal along with professional type of tweeting to give himself his own distinctive brand and all that. So, Jared, take it away. Tell all of us in the world what it is you do, my man.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Ben. That was super nice of you. My name's Jared Juett. I actually graduated from UND in 2011 with a degree in public relations and music. And ever since then, I've been doing all sorts of digital marketing for a ton of different companies. I just started at RoundPeg. We're a small marketing firm up on the north side of Indianapolis towards Carmel. And our slogan is we kind of make small businesses into big businesses using digital marketing. I'm actually finishing up my MBA at UND in the summer too, so it's super cool that
Awesome.
Bob has really got this this class going, and I really wish that they would have had this program when I was in school. It's absolutely what I would have done. It's so awesome that you guys have the opportunity to work with all these awesome professionals and learn the stuff that you're going to learn.
Cool. Right on.
Cool.
So you work at RoundPeg. Tell us, what is your title at RoundPeg, and kind of what is the core of your job, please?
Yeah, so I've got a super fancy title that my boss let me give myself. So I'm the Director of Strategic Communications for RoundPeg, which basically means that I handle all of the content strategy for our clients. We usually have anywhere between 35 to 40 different clients where we're doing either one-off work, and we have a handful of retainer clients. And I handle all of the content strategy for both that side of our portfolio and for our business.
Very cool. So when you mean kind of content strategy, can you give us a little bit of an overview of what that entails or what that means that you actually do? Please.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So we actually offer a pretty wide range of services. Kind of a quick history lesson. So when things in social media were blowing up, in 2006, 2007, kind of through the release of Google Plus in 2009, my boss, Lorraine, really positioned the company to be a social media marketing company. And now we've moved more into total kind of holistic marketing strategy. Which I think is, that's absolutely my belief. I think that's the right way to do things. So as you guys are learning all this stuff about social media, you really also need to understand how it fits into the broader marketing mix. And I think a lot of these classes are really going to set you up great for that, which is really, really cool. But as far as what we do now is just content strategy development. So building out 6 to 12 month plans for small businesses to either implement themselves or hire us to implement. And that involves everything from email marketing, social media strategy, blogging, website redesign, which includes writing all new content for products, services, you name it, events, anything under the sun that we think would help these companies grow as far as what they can do for digital marketing.
No, that's awesome. So this is the first class. We're kind of just going over everything and this and that. So if there is, advice that you would give to a beginner of social media, for personal branding and for business, which I know you've dove into both of those forays there, man. What would your first advice be for personal branding, and how would you position yourself or set yourself up with social? And then what about on the business side?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So you really have to be cognizant of kind of the evolution of digital marketing, and the fact that it changes every 6 months is being generous, right? So what it used to be is you could actually go out there and call yourself a social media professional, right? But in my opinion, everyone really needs to again have this huge holistic approach to digital marketing. So if you're going out there and starting your personal brand, I really, really would advise against just branding yourself as, again, just a social media professional, because people aren't looking for that anymore, right? You can have your intern just do social media. You can have a recent young college grad just do social media for a couple months. So if you guys, after going through this program, can really brand yourselves as people who get every aspect of digital marketing and have social media as something that you are extremely strong at and something else that you bring to the table, that is going to serve you immensely throughout the job search, throughout whatever you're doing in your current career.
No, yeah, he's right on. And we were kind of talking about with the personal branding earlier how the question came up: do the people that follow me on Twitter want to see tweets about DMM110? Which is the hashtag that they got to use. They want to see tweets about social media. And I try to come up with a kind of a distinctive blend of both of them together in some way. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do the exact same thing. So social media originally obviously is a place for people to come together and have conversations and share the things that they're interested in. And for us to be kind of those traditionalists and for us to keep it is very important for us, especially in business, to show a little bit of that personal side on social, right? There's a reason that brands have their own social media accounts, right? That's the place where they can talk about events, services, products, and the people who follow them are okay with that, right? But then for us, having our own personal audiences and sharing our personal brand, people want to see that we're real human beings, and that's the other side of the coin, right? So if you're going to look for a job, especially if you say, I can really build something like a 6-month or a 12-month social media plan or social media strategy, and then you can show them a little bit of who you are on social, and the fact that you're okay being human, right? That's huge. That'll absolutely play to your advantage, or be to your advantage.
Yeah, right on. Sorry, I'm just making sure I had an issue earlier where the internet just went poop, and
good.
Like, hey, he's gone. So I'm just making sure I get my signal right.
Cool, man.
So let's talk again. So let's go now to that business side. So,
Yeah.
On the business side, how important is it to have a little bit of your personality in with that business, do you feel?
Yeah, for us, for Round Peg, we actually, and I know this, people argue back and forth, but we actually do kind of require, as part of the hiring and the screening process, that the candidates that we're talking to have social media accounts. I mean, and as we're writing this content that's meant to be shared, that's meant to be kind of amplified throughout the internet, that it's part of my job every day. It's part of all the people I work with, all my coworkers are required to share out the stuff that they write, are required to share out anything that comes from the Round Peg brand. And that's part of us being a team. That's part of us believing in what we do. And culturally, that's absolutely what we're all about. So I think if you're looking to kind of get a digital marketing or a digital media job, and you can show a potential employer that you're willing to do that you think that's important, that you think it's important to show to your personal network that you care about what you do, that you care about who you work for, that's huge. When we're looking, again, when we're screening people or looking for people to hire, if they don't show that willingness to be a part of the social community, they're out. I mean, that's it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. Can you give us an example as a professional of a time that you've done a social media campaign? What platforms have you used? How did you determine what you'd post, your frequency, maybe your times, things like that? So we can kind of get a feel of, this is how a professional would, do social media.
Sure. So again, this is really my example of social media changing and evolving over time. When I used to work for a company called HCC Medical Insurance, and we sold travel insurance. And one of my jobs there was to actually run about 20 different social media accounts that all had to do with traveling, and each one appealed to a different demographic, right? So we did, luckily, I work for a pretty big company, so we had some in-depth Experian data, which is customer demographic data pulled from credit card information and from purchasing and buying habits. So we were able to look at that and kind of figure out maybe the top 10 different demographics that we knew would be interested in A, travel, and B, insuring themselves while they traveled, right? Wow. So we had that data up front. So we made these 10 different accounts, 10 of them from Facebook, and kind of copied the same branding and idea of each of those 10 across Twitter. So then it was my job at the time to come up with all the Facebook advertising for each of those groups. So I had to understand that each of those groups use things like Facebook and Twitter at different times. And that's all stuff you can usually find. Again, we had to pay a bit for it, but you can find most of that information online with enough research. And so I would schedule stuff out a couple months in advance for each of those accounts. We used Hootsuite, a little bit of Buffer, and the idea was to get people back to the site, right? Because we had an online quoting tool. So we could see from each of those different accounts the ways that we would tag some of the information using Google Analytics, where they would come in from, right? Which account was doing the best sending people to the site, which accounts were doing the best getting people into the quoting tool, right? So into the, you can go to progressive.com and get an online quote for free. We had the same kind of thing. So we could track when people were coming through any of those Twitter accounts and landing in our quoting tool, right? So I was held responsible for making sure that we met kind of an agreed upon quota for each of those accounts. And that was huge. I spent a lot of time and effort again, researching the best times to share the information, the best kind of information to share. If the people we were sharing to enjoyed curated content, so stuff that I found across the web, I'm kind of super sad because they took away Google Reader, which was awesome, but it's gone now. So I use that a ton for all the travel resources to build out that content. But yeah, so it's interesting. So that's what I did first, right? And now there's been this shift that I talked about kind of at the beginning, where now you really need to have this holistic view of digital marketing, and social media is one component of that. So now where I work for RoundPeg, we do a lot more with the upfront strategy. So writing the 6-month plan, a 12-month plan, and doing kind of the research I talked about before when I worked at HCC, but doing it up front for these small businesses, and then having that as the handoff and saying, oh, in addition to having this social media knowledge, we also know enough about marketing to make sure that if we give you this document, you'll be able to go and do it yourselves, or you can hire us if you want to do it. But at RoundPeg, we don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to do just posting, right? To do just curated content, to just do buffering. That takes a lot of time. So hopefully, as you guys go into these positions where you can maybe manage a team that does that, that won't be something that's as important on your plate as it is the building of strategy.
Yeah, so you guys are more the strategic builders, but not the tacticians that do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Anymore, we say, I mean, heck, get the kid across the street, get him a good job, really, and teach him some digital media strategy, but let that kid be the guy doing all the
postings, typing them all out, getting it all done. Yeah, I'm with you. Right. I'm with you. You did said, and I think this is a vital part of it. You said when you were back talking about your actual campaign itself, you said you use a little bit of money. Is that right? So you boosted some posts, and I think that's something to really hit on. Let you guys know, because the free ride of social media is over. It's gone. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can pay for them all now. I mean, you can pay to boost posts. You can pay to reach certain people. You can pay to reach certain cities. I mean, you name it, you can really do it. So what type of boosting did you do with that? Did you do it per city or for people who liked your page, or how did you figure that out, please?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. So the gravy train's over, right? The golden age is gone. And Facebook understands that, again, 2006 through 2009, it was a wonderful place to be because everything was free. And then these networks realized, oh my goodness, we have billions of people who are logging in, viewing our page after page after page, let's start really driving towards advertising, right?
Right.
So when we started at HCC doing more like promotions on Facebook in particular, they didn't have promoted posts yet. We could still kind of ride on the power of a big image, and edge rank still mattered, and we could game that a little bit. Nowadays you shouldn't. I say that because you could and you should back then. But nowadays you should never try to game any of these social media systems because it simply doesn't work anymore. But one of the things we did was figure out that a large majority of our traffic for HCC was actually coming from places like India and Thailand, right? So I don't know if you guys follow. Another good guy to follow is my good friend Muhammad Yassin. He's at Muhammad Inc. So MuhammadInc. And he's the one who really taught me all about Facebook advertising. And it was so cool because it was the first platform where you could really drill down into like people's behavior and the things that they would talk about, maybe even behind the scenes.
Things they would click on, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, you could his example that he always uses, and I love it, is you could figure out how to target someone who lived in Indianapolis, like drove to work on like Wednesdays and loved peanut butter sandwiches, right? So you could drill down to that level of person. Luckily for us, we knew enough about, again, geographically where these people came from, that we could target them in areas of like northern India, and it was like 10 or 15 cents to get someone to click through. And then of course we did all the stuff you'll learn about in other classes, like A/B testing of digital advertising, all that good stuff. But that was super, super effective for us to spend the time to learn how to use that tool and to really drill down deep into what our customers were actually looking for on social.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, yeah, we'll talk about that more too. But I'll just, to put it, I'm always going to talk about Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital where I work. But I actually have a yearly budget that I have for social media boostings, and it's up to me. Depending on what other campaign we're using, or if it's something special, or it's a news item, this or that we're promoting. I will use some money to boost posts, and we also do search engine marketing, but again, that's another class, and that's having campaigns in Google where if people search different keywords in Google, you come up at the top. Used to be the yellow box, and then there used to be a couple things in the yellow box, but now the yellow box is gone, and it's just two little orange buttons that says add and add, but they will always be the top two there when you Google search something. So. Yeah, if with business, it's just even small business. I've consulted several small businesses and worked with them that are just mom and pop shops, and we use a very low type of form of boosting, but I use it across platforms and things like that.
I mean, and you got to pay to play now. I mean, Google understands it. It's true. They just don't share information for business pages like they used to. Because they want you to pay to boost the information that you are trying to send out to get to your audiences, and it's just reality.
Yeah, I've read that Facebook, 70% of Facebook's revenue comes from advertising and promoting posts, and then I've read with Google, I think it's like 90%. Like that basically is their business of selling that. So you guys see how important this stuff is too. I mean, Google and Facebook. I mean, even Twitter. I mean, those are your big three, really, and stuff. Right. Yeah. Wow. Right on, Jared. That's awesome. So, let me ask you this, okay? How did you get started on social media, and why? And how did you teach yourself? Because again, this is the first class of this, so obviously you're like myself and everyone else that's been doing this. You're kind of self-taught, or you learn from friends or colleagues and things like that. So what's kind of your social media story, please?
Yeah, that's my favorite question of all time. It was really cool. So I moved here to Indianapolis to go to school. I was trained, education in traditional public relations, and social media was just kind of an offshoot of that at that point, and now it's actually become one of the main drivers of public relations. But no, I was just a guy hanging out on Twitter, having fun. I've always been super into computers. I don't know if you can hear my computer buzzing right now, but I built this thing, so it's just a super loud behemoth. But I've just always been into that kind of thing. And Indianapolis was amazing because, again, around 2005, 2006, specifically when I came to, so 2008, 2009, there was this booming community of what we would consider early adopters for things like Twitter and sort of the fringe of Facebook, right?
Oh yeah.
And I just got into it. I started talking to all the people who were talking about social media, were talking about public relations. I followed a lot of public relations people in particular. Literally just budged my way into conversations with other people. Got to make great friends that way. I think I met you that way. What, 5-6 years ago? Forever ago.
Yeah, it was. I joined Twitter in early '09.
Yeah.
Because I finally joined Twitter, and you were one of the first guys I met.
Yes, that's got to be about right. And those were back in the days when you could. Do you remember when we did Pie Wars?
Oh yeah, I did Pie Wars.
That was just some people talking on Twitter. I jumped in the conversation. I said, how cool would it be to get people to eat pies, right? And then we donate all the money to charity, right? Yeah. And so from Twitter, from a little tiny conversation, we got 4 or 5 people together through this event, raised about $1,500 bucks. And that's really what it was all about, was coming together and having these conversations. And really making our way. And so being part of those initiatives, being part of those networks of people who were really willing to teach me all those sorts of things and how to do it right, and maybe even understand my mistakes. If I wouldn't have had those people there, if I wouldn't have had those people there, I wouldn't be where I am now. I'm actually got my first big boy job through a tweet. So yeah, it was Muhammad who was like, I'm looking for an intern to come full time, and I tweeted him. I say, hey, can I come in? Showed up 2 days later with my resume, and I went to work the next Monday. So awesome. And obviously the job is where I learned all the stuff that I do now for RoundPeg. So social media is such a great way to connect people in ways they otherwise would not be connected. And I think, as you guys learn all this kind of stuff, I think it's up to you. I think it's your job and our job to be ambassadors to people who continue to adopt these programs, right? And to really show them the ropes, teach them the way, because you never know who's going to be interested in this kind of thing. I don't know if you know Jay Daniel, Ben, but he was actually an adult intern at HCC. Yeah, who was just like, I'm done. He worked at the racetrack and he did video and he got tired of it, quit doing that, and came on as an adult intern, and now he's doing all the social media and a lot of the digital media for IUPUI. And he's awesome. Probably in his late 40s, and just because we were willing, as a company, to bring him in as someone we met through social media, and those kind of things do happen. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let me ask the two of you here, our students. Do you guys, you've been listening to us talk and chat. Do you have any questions for Jared? Just anything that might come to your mind, or maybe I can help out with as well.
Yeah.
Tell me about one of your social media failures.
Oh, we all have those.
That's a really good question.
You ever done anything embarrassing on social, Jared?
I try not to. Honestly, I'm very, very, very careful. I do tend to offend people that I don't think I would ever offend. And I think it's crazy, and that's one of the things maybe you do have to be careful with. Is you have to be okay to offend some people. Like, don't get upset. Maybe that's one of the lessons I really learned that was a mistake, right? Is that back in the early days, I would get pretty upset if people disagreed with me. Right, and I would fire back, and it would turn into losing followers. It would turn into losing people who I considered valuable parts of my network, and I did that a lot, actually, starting out. And eventually you learn to accept, one of the best lessons I ever learned was to accept that the people who are going to follow you are going to follow you because they care about what you say anyways. And if you start losing followers, even if it's an account for a brand that starts losing followers, there's a good chance that if you're doing your job right and representing the brand in the way that you're supposed to, the people who have stopped following you are just simply aren't interested in the product or the service in the first place, and that's okay. Doing your job is actually a pretty darn good way to qualify your audience members. So.
Yeah. Here, I got it. She loves to sit under my desk, so here I'll introduce you guys to her. She's around a lot. This is Betty. Say hi, Betty. Woo! Hi, everybody.
This is Luna.
Oh, hi to Luna, Betty. Say hi to Luna. All right. All right. Nothing like a good kitty. So, I'll get one here real quick, a social media fail, and I've told all my classes this one. There is a contest that they have in Indianapolis. I don't think they have it anymore, but there's a thing called Zubilation, and there used to be a Twitter contest for Zubilation. And they'd be like, hey, kind of advertise yourself and things like that. And 2 years ago, she was my fiance at the time, who's now my wife, who I told you guys I met Slick LaRue on Twitter.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, it is true, man. It's awesome. So she wanted to be one of the tweeters and win this tweet contest for Zubilation, which was run through an organization called Indie Hub. And when this happened, I mean, she just blew it out of the water and this and that, and they picked someone else. Well, I got kind of ticked about it because I was like, because the person that they picked didn't do nearly half of what she did, and was, campaigning and doing, you're supposed to do cool videos, cool pictures, and stuff like that. So I kind of made a butt of myself, and I said, hey, what's up with this contest? Is this thing rigged? Why is it all just friends? Or, and then I sent him a message, and I said, I was like, how could you not pick her? It's Slick LaRue, this and that. So that was a definite fail on my part. And I went back in. I didn't delete the tweets or anything like that. And I actually had some people say some things to me, and I had a little bit of backlash on Twitter from some people in the social media realm. But, I explained to them, it's like, yeah, it's like I was running on emotions. I very, very, just like Jared doesn't do it, I very rarely get emotional or really try to, when I'm ticked off or angry or something, like that tweet. But, I mean, I have done it a few times here and there. I mean, I won't lie. But that was one of my biggest social media fails, this and that. And during the Super Bowl, there was somewhat of a small fail with I won't name this restaurant that I had, but it was a restaurant that I did I was the tactician, so I did all the social media for them in downtown Indianapolis. And we tweeted a tweet and put a picture that some people thought was too scantily clad and offensive, during the Super Bowl. So I I had to work with that. And, that was myself doing it on behalf of another business or another establishment. So it was even more difficult than just a personal fail on my end, because I had to work with the owner of the restaurant and bar and things like that, and make sure that we said the right things back. Because whenever you do have a fail, the other thing is always live up to it on social media. Say you're sorry. Say I screwed up. People will forgive you because it does happen. I mean, it does. So there you go. Any other questions? Janet, you got a question at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah? All right, right on. Nicole, you got any other questions for Jared?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, no, right on. Okay, so make sure that you guys follow Jared. Again, he's one of those people you should follow on Twitter. He's on Google+, he's on Facebook, things like that. You're on Instagram too, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's JUETTJ.
Yeah, Juett on Instagram.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. One final question, Jared, here. We've taken up half hour of your time.
No, it's great.
So for you personally, since this is all about digital media marketing and applications, can you tell us, what is yours? What's your favorite digital media application? What's your favorite social media platform? What do you like? What can you recommend?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's tough. It's super, super tough. But my area of expertise is actually also in kind of been what you're doing. I do a lot of SEO, so search engine optimization, and I have a lot of background in SEM, so search engine marketing. So I think it's super, super cool that you're doing these Hangouts through Google+, because Google+ is my all-time favorite. I still don't I'm still in the camp that doesn't necessarily consider it as powerful or as meaningful of a social media platform, as kind of the other big three, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
From a search engine optimization standpoint and the things you can do for brands that you're working with, making sure that they have a presence on Google+ is all important. It is the number one most important thing that you can possibly do. If you create an account for them, which you should do, you should set them up with a Gmail account. If you're working either, just internally in marketing, no matter what business you work for, if you're again doing agency stuff, you need to give them a Gmail account, because that'll also create for them a Google Places account if they have a physical address. Set them up with a Google My Business, where you can put them in all sorts of different business categories, and then make sure that their Google Plus account gets verified by either sending a note card, or somebody at Google will actually call them and say, hey, is this you on Google Plus? Like, are you?
They'll give you a number, the code, right? Yeah.
Yep. And if you don't do that, it's going to be really, really, really hard for people to find you online. So, for those reasons, I think, especially since I work day in and day out with small businesses, Google Plus is my all-time favorite. Yeah, hands down.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, we got some newbies here to Google Plus.
Great.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm new to most of it.
Awesome. Cool.
Cool.
That's perfect.
Right on. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you very much for being here with us. I appreciate it. And again, Jared Juett on Twitter, right?
JARREDJUETT.
Okay. Where else can they find you, or where would you like for people to connect?
Yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. Find me on Google Plus. If you want to be friends on Facebook, I'm fine with that. I don't share anything that's bad, so we can absolutely. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I love connecting with everybody and anybody all the time, and I'm always open to field any questions you have. Yeah, absolutely. Just use me as a resource. I'm definitely happy to help. So.
And what about your business? What's your business Twitter handle?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Twitter at RoundPeg, just one word, spelled just like it sounds. The website is roundpeg.biz. The .com is actually some digital training company out of California. So, yeah, the .biz is us. We're actually gonna go through a website redesign here in about a month and a half. But we blog every single day about the kind of stuff that you guys are going to be learning throughout this course. So I highly recommend using that as a resource too. And again, if you have any questions, you can actually contact us through there too.
Cool. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very helpful.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can log off if you want, because we're going to continue class here. We got a few more
another
minutes.
45 minutes or something crazy. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. I appreciate it.
You.
All right, I appreciate
Bye.
it. Bye.
Thanks. Right on. So again, every week we'll have someone, come and chat with us like Jared there. So what did you guys think? Was that informative? Did you like hearing from someone else?
Yeah, it was very informative.
Yeah.
I like hearing, real world stories like that.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll get those every week here in class, and that's what everybody will bring. They'll give you some real world stories. They'll give you some suggestions on their little bit of expertise, but it all has to do with, applications in digital media marketing, something like that. So,
And there are people late in their 40s that still have a chance at this.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Around Indy, the guy that created this program, Bob Birchfield, Bob is, he's a more of a grown adult than myself. I'm in my late 30s, and he's in his, I won't say, but he's in his early 60s, something like that. And Bob was self-taught, and it was his brainchild to come up with this. So what I'm saying here is anybody can do it at any time, Janet, and I think it's awesome that you're taking the course, man. Right on, because you're going to learn some stuff that, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think they understand social media, think they know about it, like, oh, I can do this, I post, I get Twitter, I post, I get Facebook, I post, I'm on LinkedIn, but, there's so much more to it than that, and you're definitely going to be a step ahead of them with that, so it's pretty cool. I want to talk a little bit more, or do you guys have any questions? I want to talk a little bit more about content management systems. You guys good? Thumbs up? Okay, cool. Right on. So content management systems, they really are amazing, and they really will help you accomplish what you want to do. I mean, even Jared talked about, some of the CMS systems that he used with his jobs and certain things that he does. So download one. Try one. A lot of people think that TweetDeck is the easiest. the most user-friendly platform. It's one of the ones that doesn't do as much as other content management systems. Hootsuite, kind of a step up from there, and Hootsuite, it has your reporting features and this and that, and it has your schedule features. It's a pretty good one, you know, that's a step above. There's another one called Echo Phone, which is really right there, and then we talked about Sprout Social and stuff. So check one out. You know, my suggestion, I'm a Hootsuite man all the way. I used to be, I mean, I'll tell you, I was a TweetDeck person at first, but then I kept hearing everybody talk about Hootsuite, and everybody talk about Hootsuite and how it was better than TweetDeck and did this and that, and it did. So, you know, that's my favorite, and I always suggest that to people. And I actually, you know, sometimes when I'm doing consulting work, I train, you know, people's PR person or their, you know, their website person or whoever, someone in their communications department to use, you know, Hootsuite itself to help them save time. I mean, it really is it's a great tool to use. So there you go. Okay, so last part here, let's talk about your social media posts. So you've kind of heard what Jared said about being, you know, conversational, you know, being a little bit business and things like that. And do you guys, you know, I just want you guys, again, I know, you know, that's a big part of your grade. I want you to feel comfortable doing the posts, making sure the posts happen, and this and that. And please, and search that hashtag DMM110 on different platforms and see what I'm writing about, see what, you know, you both are writing about. You know, from what I heard, the dean told me there are actually 5 people in this class. I think 3 people have, in the last, like, day or two, you know, came on board, but for some reason I don't see them in the system. So next week we might have 5 people, and so the more people you have, you know, the more content you'll be able to see and this and that. But, you know, you guys feel okay with that. I want to make sure that, you know, you're comfortable and you can accomplish the goals. Try to pick up a content management system and use it. And again, you can put it on any phone, any tablet, and your computer. You know, any concerns or any questions about the postings?
I mean, for me, I think having the other Twitter account makes me feel more comfortable, but a minimum of 25 a week makes me nervous. If I forget for 2 days, that's like a ton of tweets I have to do in one day to catch back up. So that makes me a little nervous. And then also the Facebook one, like the rest I'm fine with, but the Facebook one also makes me a little nervous just because, in general, hashtags, as much as Facebook is trying to make hashtags happen, it's still weird on Facebook. So, like, because I really only typically post once a week, or if that, on Facebook, so I'm a little nervous about posting a minimum of 3. And, like, I'll be honest, for the Twitter and Facebook, like, I am looking more at reaching the minimums rather than the maximums, just because I don't want to overwhelm my audience. And like, for me, worst case scenario on Facebook, like, I don't think anyone would, like, unfriend me over this, like, whereas that's more common on Twitter. But, like, I don't want people to block me because I'm posting these things more than normal, and then after this class is over, they don't know that I'm, like, done with that, and, like, I never get unblocked. So that's making me a lot nervous about those.
I'll tell you this. I mean, I absolutely understand what you're saying. I've had other people ask me the same things. You know, I've taught classes here for now about 1.5 years, and you know, I've never had anybody say that people were upset. I've had people say that they asked. And one thing that I told people then second semester of last year is just do a post on your Facebook and say, hey, I'm going to be using the hashtag DMM110. You know, you might be seeing that. But again, those are for full semester classes, which are 17, 18 weeks long. And again, this is an accelerated course only at 5 weeks long. So I think you'll be okay. But again, you know, and if you're worried also at number 2, Nicole, about you know, forgetting about doing posts or things like that, try to use Hootsuite or use your content management system, use Sprout Social, and schedule your tweets out. You know, just sit down, take 30 minutes, 45 minutes on, like, Sunday or Monday or something like that, and you'd be surprised on how many tweets you can actually schedule. And that's absolutely perfectly legitimate to do for the course. And then that way you know you're taken care of. Cool. Did I answer your question? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right on. Awesome. All right. Janet, what do you think? You good?
I think I'll probably post up front that I'm what's going on with me. I mean, just in case. But
Sure.
you know, I have a lot of friends, but sometimes I do get a lot of likes on some of my postings, and then I'll go for weeks and not say a word. So
Yeah.
you know, it varies.
Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, just say, hey, everybody, for the next 5 weeks, I'm taking a social media class, and I'm going to be using the hashtag, you know, and do it on Facebook, DMM110, do it on Twitter, and say, you know, hey, and say, if you want to learn more about social, click on the hashtag, and you'll see cool stuff from myself and other classmates, you know, in the prof, something like that. So, right on, that's cool. Gradings and the grades. You know, you had your, let me go back up here. You had your course assignments there for the blogs, the final web video, the Google Plus Hangouts, and you know, your daily social media posts. You know, the Hangouts are cool; they're pretty easy. Web video, we will go over the web video. We will go over how you can edit that and stuff like that. It really is pretty easy to do. If you have a PC computer, you can use a free program called Windows Live Movie Maker, and if you have an Apple computer or a Mac computer, you can use an application called iMovie, and those are very easy to use, and that can be, you know, so you don't have to buy fancy editing equipment or anything like that. Both of those equipment, both those apps, one for PC and one for Macs, will do just fine. But you know, if you have any questions, if you want to get a head start or anything like that, you know, let me know. But we will talk about that in a week or two. That way, you guys know what's going on, and you'll get a lot of that when Eric Miller is here talking about web videos and stuff, because that's what he does for a living. His only job is to do videos for the web, and he does an occasional commercial for Married Free Bed, stuff like that.
Can I give what we're using right now? What I'm using right now?
Yeah, what are you using?
It's a Samsung tablet or Droid. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. So you're going to use your tablet to do it?
I guess so. I mean, I don't have a home computer right now.
No. Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely use those on a tablet. Yeah, you can do a tablet. That would be the easiest way to do it. I gotta have to look and see what the app would be for a Droid tablet. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Send me an email if you don't mind, and I'll figure out what that is for you. You know, if you had an iPad, it would be iMovie. They have a version of that for the iPad.
It might be that. I'm not sure what this is.
Oh, yeah.
This is me too.
Yeah. So I mean, but it doesn't. What does it run? Droid platform, do you know, or Windows?
Well, like, I haven't seen Microsoft Office. I've seen a Polaris or something in it.
Okay, so what does your front screen look like? Does it have a bunch of tiles, colored tiles?
It has like the weather, and then it has tiles, and then the app is down over in a corner, and I push on it for all the apps to pop up. Okay,
it sounds like you're running the Droid iOS system, the Droid operating system from it. So I'll look up a Droid one, and then I'll get in touch with you on that one. I know there's got to be one.
I think there's a thing already on. I'll have to look and see what it is.
Okay, cool. Just let me know. Just be in touch. No problems. Okay, so there are your course assignments, and then the blogs. And again, I said, you know, I'm kind of leaving them up to your creative genius with the blogs. Just if we go back down to the calendar, just make sure that, again, you know, you guys stay up with the reading. You know, because I've asked, you know, you do a little bit of that in your blogs. And, you know, we're just going to be boom, 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 straight through it. So I have an entire row in my Hootsuite for the hashtag #DMM110. So anytime you guys use that hashtag on any social media platform, I'll be able to see that. I have a search for that on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that stuff. So, you know.
On that.
Yes.
So you're talking about these CMS. So once you put something out there, like a hashtag or whatever, does it go to all of your accounts, or is it just one?
No, each different account, you have to post the hashtag on each different account.
Okay, because I was under the impression that if you go to one, or it's all of them entwined into it. You know what I'm saying?
It is possible to cross post. Like if you post on you said earlier that you hadn't downloaded Instagram yet, but when you do that and you go to the uploader, if you tie in your Twitter and Facebook and all those accounts to that, you can select all those and say post to all these right now, and it will post to all of them. And then on Hootsuite, I don't know what all platforms you can do, but I know at least Facebook and Twitter you can cross post there.
Was that what you were asking? Can you post the same thing on different platforms?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yes. But again, I would not get into the habit of doing that. Because if you post the same, okay, so here's why you try to vary your content between platforms. I'll post Instagram pictures to Facebook and Twitter, things like that, but I won't post my Facebook updates to Twitter or my Twitter updates to Facebook, because you want to have your audience. So if you are posting the same thing to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, why should somebody follow you on all those different platforms and stuff?
Right.
But yes, it is possible to do the same posts, and you can schedule those out with Hootsuite and this and that. But like if you use the hashtag DMM110 on Facebook and you put it into the search bar at the top of Facebook, all you will see on there are the Facebook instances of DMM110 and things like that. But yeah, you can use those to cross-populate. I just say be weary of doing that a little bit. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, I did have one question about the video. On the syllabus, it says that we have to have our topic due by Monday at 5, and Monday's Labor Day. Like, is that still the due date? Because, I mean, I want to make sure that, like, if that's our final, that it's a good topic. And I don't want to, like, tell you a topic now, and then at our next class we talk about something really awesome that would be, like, more worthwhile.
Okay, good call. I didn't even think about it being Labor Day. I just had it due there. So you don't have to have your final web video topic due then next week. Let's transfer that to Monday the 8th, okay, of week 3. All right, so I'll give you another week for that. That way you can do that. But the reason is, this is only a 5-week course. I want you to have your topic picked by week 3. That way, if it takes you a couple weeks to do your video or whatnot, I want you to have enough time to actually accomplish your video. That way you're not scrambling at the last minute. So, okay, so let's say then...
3 minutes, right?
I'm sorry?
It has to be under 3 minutes, right?
Yes. Well, I said 3:30. If you got to go to 3:30, cool, but I would really like it to be under 3. Go to YouTube and search a bunch of videos on YouTube, and you'll find shorter ones, you'll find longer ones, and it'll give you ideas of things to do. But yeah, okay, so we'll move the web video topic due to Monday, September the 8th. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. I wasn't even thinking about that. Everybody loves to chill on Labor Day.
Yeah, I might be camping or something. Who knows?
Yeah, right on. All right, so that's about it here for our first class. Okay, again, start doing your postings. You'll see me posting from DMM 110. We'll have our hangout next week at the exact same time. We're going to be talking with Katie about websites, mobile sites, this, that. That's also what we talk about in our Google Plus Hangout, mobile optimization and technology. And we throw in with that search engine optimization and search engine marketing, also known as SEO and SEM. So we get into the whole web part because I wanted to kind of give you an overview and talk, quickly about social media handles and doing postings and getting that. And then, since the blogs are such a big part of what you guys do, I wanted to talk about blogs and how to optimize those. And you'll learn things and tricks that you guys can do with your own WordPress blogs that will help you get found more and more and help you rise in the Google ranks. It's pretty cool stuff. It's geeky tech stuff, but it's fun, you know. So any other questions? You guys good? I appreciate it. Thank you for spending the last 2 hours and 20 minutes with me. I truly do appreciate it. Any questions? If not, I think this will conclude our class.
Nope.
Sweet.
Right on. All right. So, hey, tweet away. Give me a tweet. You got any questions? Or, you got all my contact stuff. And have a good week. Have an awesome long weekend. And I will see you guys next Wednesday again. Thanks.
All right.
Way to go, first class.
Okay.
Woo!
Bye.
Right on. All right. See you guys. See you guys interweb.